cinema. The Graveyard Shift.
So, another Stephen King story adaptation, but the big question is it any good? Now, I'm sure you already know the answer to that, but let's have a look anyway just for a laugh. Now, this movie is one that I used to love years ago due to its stupidity, and it's guaranteed to give you a good laugh for all the wrong reasons. So here are the main characters in the film. This is Warwick, who owns the mill, and he loves to belittle his staff, pay them sod all, and make them feel like quitting. Kind of sounds like my current job. This is John Hall, a jobless and luckless guy who wants a job working at Warwick's factory. Fuck knows why, he must be warped. This is Jane. She works at the mill, hates her job, hates Warwick, falls in love with John and ends up dying. Oh dear, I've just ruined this crappy film for you already. Lesson from this? Don't watch a review on a film that you haven't seen, but keep on watching my videos regardless, you know? Thanks. There's also a bunch of stock everyday Joes in there who all die along the line, and of course there's the weird as ever Brad Dourif playing a rat exterminator.
I'm just an exterminator.
Yeah, Sean Connery and Zardoz will make this film 10 times better, but we'll just have to make do with this lame cast for now. Unless you just go watch Zardoz instead, you know. Then everybody's a winner. So it starts out with some guy who gets surrounded by an army of rats in the mill, and he starts shouting at them.
Okay, class is over. Did you hear me? Class is over!
Come on, you don't honestly expect rats to understand you, do you? Anyway, something pushes him into the machine and he dies, and this is pretty much how the film pans out from here on in. Now the best thing about this dull movie is the laughable acting, and not only what the characters say, but how they actually say it. Brad Dourif overacts to the extreme as a demented guy who loves his job by drowning rats. Why does he look like some kind of half-assed fighter pilot?
Damn! Wow!
He also looks a bit like a Ghostbuster with a shitty old-fashioned proton pack. But the real crowning moment of this film is Warwick. Every line he says is amazing because of his wonderful accent. Seriously, I used to go around quoting this moron for years, making myself look just as mental. I still do, actually.
Yeah.
You ever run the pickup?
Why don't you wisen up, for Christ's sake? Everybody go back to doing what you were doing.
It's like the guy's on a different planet to everybody else and his replies don't even fit into the conversations he's having. What a legend.
Show's over.
The Graveyard Shift.
That is the line you'll be repeating to everybody who'll listen to you after you've watched this film.
The Graveyard Shift.
Hell, it's said in the theme song enough, which is hilarious, let me tell you, so there's no way it's not going to get drilled into your brain. This film just makes me laugh so much I daren't even call it bad, so I'll just say it's not good. So John the Drifter gets himself a job at the mill, replacing the guy who died at the start, and spends half of his working hours shooting cans at rats. It must be great to work on your own shooting rats like this. I mean, I personally just dance around and writing Zardoz on all the walls and trying to turn people into life-sized lumps of coal like in Poltergeist 3. Actually, I do this. Seriously, how cool is that? Somebody give the RSPCA a call and report the evil bastards who actually made this happen. Actually, what I'd love to see, if anybody's got any pet rats, okay, film a video of you shooting cans at your pet rat and upload it to the Shitcase Cinema Facebook group. Not that I'm condoning the act of shooting cans at rats, but it would be quite amusing. So, John gets involved in a conversation with Brad, and, well, actually it's more like Brad's one-man insane show telling us how crazy he is and how he likes to shoot rats with his gun. Honestly, everybody in this movie is whacked. Like this guy, he thinks it's fun to do impressions of Warwick.
Anybody call break? Ain't no laughing on company hours.
Good man, but he soon shits himself when the legend himself walks in.
Bravo! Now we can get you that audition on Star Search.
Star Search? Oh Warwick, please stop before I cough up a lung. Seems like some people get annoyed by Warwick though when they're told they're on the clean-up crew in the mill. Warwick ain't too impressed, but John stops in to stop him. I love how the rest of the town are just standing still watching, hoping he'll beat the shit out of the stupid woman, but she gets off scot-free. It's good that, innit? If it was a guy, he'd have been beaten up for smashing up a car like that, but you know, girl power prevails and she's just allowed. I think it's time for an intermission from this bollocks. Random. Now it's time for this meathead who thinks he's 10 men, like most meatheads do, to start shooting at rats with a water hose. Why does he feel the need to scream? It's all he does. Everyone is working by clearing up the mess, and he goes around having a water fight with rats, and the louder he screams, the more damage he seems to do. Whatever. And before you know it, he's threatening his colleagues and making strange little noises. Just check out his killer laugh here. That's the best laugh ever. So demented Warwick and the deranged Durif have a chat about terminating all the rats, and he tells him to go to the graveyard. No reason why, and Brad doesn't even question it. He just goes along with Warwick and gets to a gravestone and it slides into his head, which obviously kills him, and then it just shows Warwick looking all menacing and evil like he wanted that to happen. To quote Warwick, "Yeah," like he's gonna set up an elaborate booby trap involving a gravestone that slides off perfectly to kill a rat exterminator. At this moment in time, words fail me. Further highlights include this fat idiot getting covered in spiders and then crying like a little girl, then running up the stairs, which break because he's a big fat porky mess, and something in the water killing him. But he still gets in one last stupid scream. Down in the underground caverns, and everyone seems to be lost, and Warwick paints his face black for some reason and decides to kill John the Drifter for no reason whatsoever. Now the best part for me is that they know something is down there with them, yet this guy decides to insert his arm into a hole. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen here. Yep, his arm turns into a bloody stump and he waves it around and lumps of prime steak fly off at Warwick. Classic. So let's see what's down there. It's this thing, a weird crossover between a bat and a rat or something. So it drags another guy away and Warwick throws a bottle at it, you know, why not? Before running away and falling down a hole which is hilariously bad, thus making it absolutely amazing. And he's sadly out for the count. Well, it's not long before he's found and let the greatest fight ever commence. Now you won't find a better fighting scene anywhere else, especially in a room full of human bones, which Warwick uses to kick some serious ass. Or stab somebody to death. Why isn't this movie more well known? I mean, it's obviously a great bad film which is hilarious through and through. So Warwick gets killed by the rat bat monster. John crawls to safety, although the creature follows him into the mill, decides its best option is to crawl into the pressing machine, and John turns it on by shooting a can at the switch naturally, and it gets mangled up into a big bloody mess. Even though it looks like a big bloody mess to start with. Then it's on to what should have been a smash hit #1 single if you ask me, an inane rambling filled with humorous lines from the film, mostly coming from Warwick, including his famous line.
Show's over.
Yeah. So hard, so juicy.
Graveyard shift.
So the Graveyard Shift gets 4 out of 10, but in terms of laughter fee or money, I'd give this a strong 9 out of 10. Yeah.
The graveyard shift.
Come on!